What's up, nerds? Welcome to Arsenal X, NGR's Xbox show. Try number 2. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Dirrig, and alongside me, as always, Edward Varnell.
Hello, nerds and nerdettes. It's time for Arsenal X. Yes. So
Ed.
ready for this. So pumped. Yes.
Yes. All right. So, Ed, we've taken some feedback from our fans from various social media and messaging outlets. What we're going to do is we're going to kind of have 5 separate videos go up on YouTube during the week. But we're going to do it in a more natural podcast form. So the audio version of the episode will go up on Wednesdays, the full episode. So if you don't want to wait for the YouTube breakouts, you can go ahead and download and listen to it. And what I want to do is I haven't decided, probably 4 breakout videos, and then the full video episode go up on Fridays. That's kind of what we've kind of taken in terms of feedback and what our fans want. And, you know, NGR is about giving the people what they want. So Ed and I are here to provide.
Yes.
We're kind of taking that same approach with Nerds Gone Platinum, but we've handed that show to Moose, who's our NGR radio 3rd chair. He's going to do that show with some people, so that's good. You know, Ed and I like PlayStation, but we're more of the Nintendo Xbox guys, so we're going to stay on this side of the fence while they tackle that side.
And hopefully Moose will have me on, because I am a universal gamer, and so I can't wait to talk PlayStation also with those guys when I get a chance. So, and I'm sure
Ed and I will have no issue getting together and discussing something about PlayStation from time to time. Yeah. So,
but for right now, PlayStation don't have nothing for us to discuss.
True. If I have to listen to people chasing trophies for another half hour, sorry, Moose, I love you, but trophy talk, I can't do it. I can't.
Well, you know, but I think that's cool that he brings up trophy talk, because there are people who really want to get trophies and get platinums and stuff, and I root for people who do that.
Yeah, and like I enjoy PlayStation a lot. I enjoy playing those games, and I know there are people specifically out there that play PlayStation to hunt down the trophies. And, you know, that's what Matt's other show, the Platinum Achievement Podcast, that's what that show was founded on, was, you know, 1,000 gamers scoring something or platinuming a game. You know, friend of NGR, Chris Haar, is obsessed with chasing down platinums. You know, Matt's obsessed with chasing down platinums. Moose is. So, you know, that show is going to be for those types of people. And I wanted to make sure we had someone in place on that show that would, you know, care for our fans that are into that. You know, I didn't want us to sit there and talk about trophies, you know, or PlayStation stuff when we're more the Xbox and especially Nintendo side of things. So,
yes.
So Nerds Gone Platinum is going to be the same thing as this, but, you know, broken out 4 videos, full episode on Friday. But I haven't decided when the audio version is going to go up. I'm thinking Thursdays, since Pal Block goes up on Tuesday and Friday. NGR and World 1-1 come out on Monday. So we'll have at least one major show every day, and then Monday you'll get the double dose of me and Ed on the separate places, along with Larry and Matt and, you know, our fellow team members on this.
Yes, and also brew review. So
all right,
the brew reviews, beer lovers.
Yeah, that show. I'm not sure how John releases that, but what I talked to him about is we're going to release it on Sunday nights around 5 or 6 on the website. Mm-hmm. So you can check out John and the Brew Review over on his YouTube channel, the Brew Review. there are links on our website, ngrradio.com, and all that kind of stuff. So whatever he's doing, his personal beer reviews are going to go up on Sunday mornings on ngrradio.com, and the brew review show will go up on Sunday nights on ngrradio.com. But if you want that content earlier or want to know when that stuff comes out specifically, you can go subscribe to his channel and watch it directly from there earlier if you want. So that's cool. I know his brew review team that writes about beer and stuff is also moving over to NGR from the craftchat.net, I think is what it was. But it's cool. Shout out to Jesse White also, who is helping John with the brew review, and Matt.
Yes,
they're good people. They are good people. And there's going to be some crossover type things. John and I and Larry and I have kind of discussed side shows, like the perfect pairing. Larry shot me that message the other day where what beer do you pair with what game, that kind of stuff. There'd be like short 3 to 5 minute videos, but it's just a funny thing to think about. So a lot of wheels turning, Ed, at NGR.
Yes.
And it's weird because it feels kind of overwhelming, but at the same time, I think, you and I and Matt have kind of handled it really well to where all the wheels are kind of turning at the same time. So it's not as overwhelming.
Yes.
And the fact that, Moose stepped up to take over the brew, or take over NGP. And,
yes.
You and I are focused on these two shows now. It's good. It's a good time for NGR Radio.
So we all have content to deliver to the viewers and listeners. So, first of all, like as always, we thank you guys for the support and the feedback. Keep sending us more feedback to help our shows become better. And I hope everyone is enjoying something. And if you don't like it, let us know so we can work on it to be better. But thank you guys for just tuning in and giving us your feedback. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, for real. This first episode might not be up this Wednesday because you know how iTunes and Google Play work. They just take their time getting stuff through. Like sometimes it'll be within a couple hours, sometimes it'll be a couple days before you can get a new podcast certified for those platforms. So, be patient. They're coming. I'm going to set it up tonight. We're recording on Sunday. So if anything big happens, Monday or Tuesday and we miss it, that's why. So we'll cover it next week, obviously. But so I want to start this episode, besides explaining what everything else is happening outside of this show. We'd like to start with what we're going to call What's in the Arsenal, Ed. What's in the Arsenal? And we're just going to do a quick rundown of what this show is. We're going to talk about what we've been playing, July's games with gold, the Mass Effect Andromeda DLC debacle, Call of Duty's exclusivity on PS4 first, and Xbox One X pre-orders, which the more and more I think about the Xbox One X, the more and more I want one, because 4K TVs are coming down in price. I've started putting money away to upgrade next year, I think. It's a pretty box. I want to be able to experience some of these games in 4K and in the best way possible. And, at first I was like, I don't know if I need to. But then I saw something the other day that was like, I really want a 4K HDR TV, and I really want my Xbox games to look the best they can. So
I've been thinking of Black Friday about it, and I'm still on I'm not ready to upgrade to OX just yet, but for some 4K TVs, and I have right now an Emerson TV, which is really good. It's like a 19-inch like 1080p HD TV, and I'm trying to see if Emerson makes a 4K, because I kind of want to go 22 inches, a little bit bigger. But if I can't, I'm kind of looking at some of the Sony TVs. and see what they can offer. Like for me personally, I don't really need a big TV. I just need a TV I can put because I don't have no space for it. I just need a really nice TV to hook up my consoles and be able to play. Now, how my Switch games are gonna look when I finally get my Switch in a couple of weeks, I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna look on the 4K. But definitely for my Xbox, if I start having problems with my one, then I'll upgrade to an OX. But $500 for right now, I'm gonna hold off until I actually get a 4K TV. So,
right,
Black Friday, I'm looking at some.
I'm definitely not upgrading to an X this year. Like I just not. It's not in the cards. There's too many Xbox and Switch games I want to play.
Yes,
but I have started putting money back. To upgrade to that 4K TV. I've been looking at my current TV. It's still a really good TV. It's a Samsung 55-inch 1080p TV. It's really nice. All my games look great on it right now. Like that's my main TV that I game on. Right. So
right.
I'm looking in the same. I'm going to keep the same size range. I might go a little bit bigger. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, 4K TVs are still a little bit out of my price range right now.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's why I keep putting money away. I want to be able to get something before, my wife and I actually hunker down and start a family and all that kind of stuff. I want to get all the big expenses out of the way before, other expenses start coming into this house. Right. So I'm looking at, there's a Samsung. It's the one that all the IGN guys bought, that KS 8000 series Samsung.
Okay.
They've been dropping in price very rapidly. Like 2 months ago, they were $2,000. This month, they're $1,600. So I'm hoping every year for you sports fans, everybody knows that around Super Bowl time, TVs drop in price by like 40%. So I'm like,
yes,
I know my Browns are going to be at that Super Bowl. We can sure as heck know I'm going to be at that Best Buy buying that TV.
Okay, so people who know me like personally and stuff, I live close to Wisconsin, and Wisconsin tax is way cheaper. It's like 3% cheaper than Illinois tax, depending on where you're at. My electronics, I go it's like a 45 minute drive to their Best Buy, and the tax there is 5.5 or 5.6%, where ours is 8 to 10% on sale tax. Now I have a friend up there. I could go visit, go get something to eat. But when I get my electronics, I normally go there. I don't do it for my consoles. Consoles I'll buy for my job. But my TVs and stuff, I kind of go across the border to another state to get something like that. So hopefully some good sales come out and I'll be like, oh, the tax is really cheap, and pay the tax and skedaddle back to Illinois.
Yeah.
Like right by Wisconsin.
It's weird because sales tax, like in Ohio, the sales tax varies depending on what county you shop in, right? So like where I live, it's like 6.5% sales tax. Mm-hmm. But where my parents live, it's like 5.25% sales tax.
Oh, but wow.
If you drive about an hour west into Pennsylvania, they don't have any sales tax. So it's like, it's like, oh man.
They don't have like Philadelphia and stuff like that in that Pennsylvania, or
yeah, well,
or the state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, the whole state of Pennsylvania has no sales tax. So like
they don't have they have sales tax. They don't have sales tax on clothes.
Are you sure? Because I've bought stuff over there.
Right, I've been to Pennsylvania. I've been to Philly with my play dad, and when he took me there, we went to JCPenney. They didn't charge sales tax for clothes. For their food, they did.
Okay. Well, maybe I was wrong then. Maybe I don't know. We used to go to the outlet stores over there all the time, and there was no sales tax. And I guess I didn't notice it was just on clothes. But
yeah, it was just on clothes because we don't have a sales tax on magazines. Okay. So if you buy a magazine in Illinois, they don't charge you sales tax. But like food, actually candy has its own separate tax than a food tax. Like our candy here in Illinois, like if you buy it, it's 1.25%. Okay. Yes, everybody, we got off of Xbox, but just saying.
Sorry, I just it's like sales tax is a big difference.
Can I ask you a question though? When you buy games on your PlayStation, do they charge you tax on it?
They just started like I don't know, like a couple months ago, because they used to not charge sales tax.
Right, I still don't get no sales tax charged on mine. My Xbox and my Wii U, like Microsoft and Nintendo, they charge the sales tax, but like PlayStation, they haven't.
Right. I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess I haven't really thought about it, but I haven't really bought a digital game on PlayStation in a while. It's usually like Switch or 3DS or Xbox. So I mean, the last game I got for PlayStation was Horizon. So I mean, I'm not exactly the person to be asking right now, but yeah, I don't know. It's weird, but
yeah, because the game I brought something from Golden Week and I didn't get charged sales tax. I got some stuff that's still in my cart, so when I get paid again, I'm gonna end up buying it, and it doesn't have no sales tax on it. So I was just wondering.
Yeah. Where were we at? Oh,
Xbox. Ed, yes.
I want to know what you've been playing.
What I've been playing? I think we both been playing Mass Effect Andromeda. So yes, I started up Mass Effect Andromeda like I was talking about last time on last episode. Been getting a little bit further in the game, working on some of my weapons. Just getting some upgrades for my armor. The currency thing is still so weird. But my progress right now, I'm on like the second planet. No, I'm on the third planet, which is like Villalova, something like that. It's like an ice planet. So I just got this character Moesha. I just end up saving her, and that's the part that I'm at. I'm back on the ship. I've been romancing Gil, so hopefully, we make a connection with that. And I'm playing as a male character, so that's where I'm coming from. That's my progress right now. I just opened up a slot to actually carry 4 guns. Because the way that it works is like when you level up, you get like skill points. So hold on to those skill points, or you can spend them right away depending on which one. And I got a achievement for, because I got my my assault rifle up all the way, but there's still more stuff that I'm trying to upgrade for, like my shotgun, the sniper rifle, and the pistol. Like I'm trying to get those main weapons and stuff. And I think this game is probably going to take a while to upgrade everything. So you might have to do maybe 2 to 3 new game pluses if they allow it. Because some of the side missions, as good as there are, it kind of depends on how you do them right away or if not. I've been trying to do them right away if I see them, and I've been trying to complete them before I go to the main mission. So that's where I'm at Mass Effect Andromeda.
Nice. Yeah, I just started. I shouldn't say I just started. I started a new game. I started it a couple months ago, or I guess I don't know, probably like a month ago. And then I got distracted by something. I think something on Switch came out that I was really into. I think I was playing Mario Kart and Shovel Knight, the Shovel Knight DLC. But I started a new game last week. I'm only like 5 or 6 hours into it. I did the first like major, like I don't know if it's the first major planet, but like you kind of go through the ship and learn, and then you go crash land on the first planet. and a search for your crew and stuff. I got through all that stuff, and I'm just now getting to the second planet. I did all the side quests on the ship, and some of them require you to go to that first planet, so I'm starting to get there. I'm really enjoying it. It feels like Mass Effect. I mean, I don't think the writing's as strong as the original trilogy right now, but like, it's not terrible. I don't understand why everybody like was in a kerfluffle about this whole game. Like,
right.
I mean, I understand like the facial animation thing on your created character, and like, you know, when you hand this off to a new team working on a new engine, like everything's not going to work perfect, but like, it's good. Like it's another Mass Effect game. What did you want? Like, that's what it feels like. It feels like Mass Effect and I really like the addition of the jetpack and the boosts and stuff. It really makes getting around a lot easier. And like, I know later in the game, a lot of people say it gets a little repetitive and stuff, which I'm not there yet, so I can't say. But at the same time, I'm like, it feels like Mass Effect. It plays like Mass Effect with a little bit of upgrades, and you know, they put all this time and effort into creating these new characters, and this new Andromeda initiative seems like a cool idea. The stuff that's taking place on like the main ship, not your main ship, but like the main ship, not the Ark, but the main ship.
Yes.
Like the politics stuff seems really interesting. And, you know, there's a female Krogan, which we've never really seen before. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on in this game that really makes me excited to play more, which, you know, tomorrow I have to work in the morning, but tomorrow night I'm off for the 4th of July, which if you're not an American listener, it's an American holiday. So I'm off on Tuesday. So Monday night, I'm really going to dive into it. You know, I really want to learn more about these characters. And I think, you know, Core is interesting. I think
she is.
The Australian black guy is pretty interesting. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of interesting things going on in this game, and I want to learn more. And that's what I want for Mass Effect is that. And it's, you know, later we're going to talk about the possibilities of DLC for this game, but I'm into it. I'm enjoying it. You know, I think we're both kind of enjoying it, and I don't understand why everybody made such a big deal. And I understand a lot of people expect a lot from BioWare, and a lot of people expect a lot from Mass Effect in general. But, you know, some of the issues I think people had should be blamed on EA and them forcing them to use Frostbite and trying to have it out by a certain date without pushing it, and not on the team itself. I did notice one conversation I was having. One of the NPCs like pushed one of the other characters out of the cutscene. Was like, it's like I was having a conversation with someone, and one of the characters walked into the scene and started pushing the person I was talking to out of the screen. And I thought that was really funny, but like, it's also a bug that like probably should have been fixed. But like, it was really funny to see like the character I'm talking to, she's talking to me, and all of a sudden you just see push out of the way. But I'm enjoying my time with it. Like, I don't know. I like Mass Effect as a series, and it's interesting. I think it's refreshing to get away from like Shepard and, you know, the Reapers and that story. So Mass Effect, I think, you know, if you are still concerned, you know, wait for a sale and try it out. If you're a fan of Mass Effect or just any sci-fi in general, like, check it out. It's good. It's worth it. I think it's worth it. I think
it's on the summer sale right now. I think, or it might be PSN or Xbox. One of them. It's like for $44 or something. Like I said, I know I got the deluxe version. The deluxe version I got like for $41 or something digitally. I think if they would have just fixed the currency and some of the armor situations, that problem, I think it would have been a better game, definitely for me. Because and the research points I'm still trying to figure out, in the mining for materials. It's just like, this is weird to make weapons and stuff. I'm just like, why can I not just have kind of like a store for some reason?
Yeah.
Weird at times. But
yeah,
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying it too. I think it's been overly criticized and underrated. I mean, I don't think it's the best game in the series so far. I still think, you know, from a storytelling perspective, I think 1 holds that candle, but like, I'm enjoying it. I think it's fun. I think it's got a lot of cool action in it. It's good. I'm just enjoying it.
I think story-wise, I think Mass Effect 2 is better. Gameplay-wise, 3 refines it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying that Mass Effect 3 is any bit bad. Like, I probably replayed Mass Effect 3 more than I did 2 and 1. Like, I think I did like Mass Effect 3 like 4 times, being it all the way through.
Yeah, I own the whole trilogy on 360. So I played through Mass Effect 3 twice on there. And like, this is before I even knew like everybody was really mad about the ending. And I was like, I like the ending of Mass Effect 3 personally. But then like,
yeah, I did too.
It came out later on Wii U. And I actually played it like 3 or 4 times on Wii U because I could play it on the tablet, and I could just sit and watch TV and play it and have my headphones in and stuff, which I still think, like, if you're going to play Mass Effect 3 by itself, I still think the Wii U is the way to play that game, because you can direct your squad mates without having to, like, you can draw their path on the screen. You have your map on the screen. You have your loadouts. You have everything that you could need right there on the screen. And I just think from a gameplay perspective, Mass Effect 3 on Wii U is still like the best place to play that game. But that said, Mass Effect 3 kind of doesn't hit home unless you've played 1 and 2. Well, 2 specifically, but 1 and 2, like, it doesn't have the same impact because you're not. It fills in the story gaps for you, to where like even if you do the little interactive comic things, so it can generate the story for you, you're still missing stuff.
Yeah. And I could agree with you with some of the story parts in Mass Effect 1, because me and my friend was playing it, and I was just like, okay, you at this part, I'm at this part, yeah, I'm at this part, and did you experience this? And like, we'll talk about and how the moral system affected our storyline. But Mass Effect 2, I was going to my friend, I'm like, what the world just happened at this point? He's just like, yeah, I know. And it kind of got me excited because I admit I'm honest to this, and people who heard probably me about the KOTOR stuff, I felt like before I played Mass Effect, I felt that BioWare was a terrible developer because of KOTOR and how some of their games were designed. But then I picked up Mass Effect 1.
I just feel like a lot of BioWare games didn't translate well to console. Yeah. That's the issue. And like, I think KOTOR is a great game in terms of like storytelling in the Star Wars universe, but I don't think that gameplay works well on console. Like, I just don't. And like, I know you're not a huge Star Wars fan, so that's probably why you don't like KOTOR more, which is probably why you're getting a little bit of the comments from it.
And I just want to say this about the KOTOR thing, and it doesn't have me not being a big Star Wars fan. You know, my problem with Star Wars is the original trilogy. I think 7 and Rogue One was fantastic. I think those are the kind of like the best 2 Star Wars out of the whole series. My problem with KOTOR was that it was so directionless. It didn't tell you what to do or where to go. Like the intro of it, when you're on the ship and the game, how it starts off, is great. I love how they introduce to you. But once you get to the first land, they're just like, there you go.
Yeah. It had this weird kind of, I kind of want to be an MMO, but I'm not. And this is my single player MMO style game, but like, I don't know where to go. Who do I talk to for quests? Like that kind of stuff. And like, I actually like, remember playing that, and I went out and bought the strategy guide because it had a step-by-step thing of like, here's who you go talk to if you want to, and like upgrading your character. If you want to be a melee-based character, here's where you go. If you want to be a ranged character, here's where you go. If you want to be a mix of both, here's how you do it. And like, I don't know if I would have enjoyed that game as much as I did without the strategy guide and the help. And I'm one of those people that's like, play games how you want. If you want to play it on easy, go ahead. If you want to use a strategy guide, go ahead. And like, I don't think I would have enjoyed KOTOR as much as I did without strategy guide. And
yeah, I agree. Because that's different from Breath of the Wild. Not going to bring up Breath of the Wild anymore. Where that freedom is, they let you, they give you direction, but they also let you know that yes, you have the freedom to go anywhere, but here's some things that you might want to prepare for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the combination of, you know, making the transition to consoles, trying to figure out how the gameplay would work, and people recognizing how BioWare games work from a PC crowd and transferring it over to a console where the primary games were, you know, Halo and sports games, like that audience, I think probably had a harder time grasping how BioWare games work. And like, I think Mass Effect 1 suffers from the same problem. You know, I think like from a gameplay perspective, like this is a shooter, and they rectified this in 2 and 3, right? This is like, we understand you want to tell a good story and have RPG elements, but the gameplay mechanics need to work like a third-person shooter. And like Mass Effect 1 suffers from that too. If you go back and play that, the gameplay is just awful. Like if you're trying to be a sniper in that game, and you're trying to snipe someone on that first planet without any upgrades or playing,
you would think your character was drunk throughout the whole game or is on a ship. Like, right. It literally is just like, this is how seasickness feel.
Yeah.
I can play this.
Yeah, it's and you know, I think Mass Effect 2 and 3 and now Andromeda really rectified all that. I think Andromeda, the mechanics are serviceable. They're not the greatest. I really still think that Gears of War still holds the trophy for best third-person shooter controls. Like I just feel that way. I don't like how you like no button for cover, no you know, dodge roll or whatever, but I guess that's what the boost is for. But you know, I guess we can kind of transition this and talk about the Mass Effect DLC first, since we're kind of on this topic. Like, one of the things that Mass Effect was really known for was awesome DLC. You know, the Shadow Broker DLC is some of my favorite DLC probably ever, next to like the Mario Kart DLC and Mario Kart 8 DLC and some other things. But like the Shadow Broker DLC told its own story and actually helped you learn some stuff that was about to happen in Mass Effect 3. You know, Mass Effect 1 had the first DLC that dropped for Mass Effect 1, if you played it, actually played a really big role in Mass Effect 3. Like, you couldn't get specific missions if you didn't play that DLC. That's how linked in that DLC was. And like the Citadel DLC in Mass Effect 3, where you got to learn your party members and stuff, like it was just that dumb DLC where you were like dancing and getting drunk and kind of learning more about your party. It's kind of like a last hurrah for the Mass Effect trilogy. It was pretty cool. I really liked it. And so like to not get DLC for Mass Effect Andromeda is kind of a letdown. And like, you know, EA kind of hushed those rumors and said, we haven't canceled anything, hasn't really been confirmed. We told players to hold on to their saves for a reason, like that kind of stuff. But Kotaku and now Game Informer and IGN are all reporting that, you know, EA forced them to cancel it because that's a skeleton crew over there now to keep up with multiplayer updates. And, you know, there are hints at the Quarian Arc DLC coming. Like, man, this just sounds like a big mess EA just wants to shove under a rug and forget about.
Did they charge for a season pass or announce anything for a season
pass? No,
pass?
They said no. And like at E3 last year, they said there's not going to be a season pass. We know how fans feel about season passes. because of Battlefield. What was the one before
Battlefront,
one?
Star Wars, Battlefront.
Yeah, with Battlefield and Battlefront, like those season passes didn't go over well with fans, and like they never had season passes for Mass Effect before. They're not going to start now, but we do want to do DLC in the future because Mass Effect is a big franchise. We're just going to piecemeal it. So, if this is all true and the DLC never comes out, that's such a bummer. Because like from what I understand without spoiling anything, Andromeda kind of ends setting up either DLC or a sequel. And like, man, I would just be totally bummed out if I didn't get more Mass Effect, because like I really feel like EA is just going to put Mass Effect on the back burner now that they have the Star Wars license and Anthem coming. And those are two, like, even though they came out and said that Anthem isn't, BioWare came out and said that Anthem is not Mass Effect, it's more of a sci-fi fantasy similar to Star Wars. But like, that's a lot of sci-fi going on, and they're not going to have 3 sci-fi series going on at the same time. And it just makes me really sad because Mass Effect is an important franchise, especially to me on a personal level. You know, it's like,
well, the sales numbers and the criticism made EA kind of act in a manner like they want to back off and be like, okay, let's not do anymore. You know, kind of like they was trying to do damage control for Mass Effect Andromeda, and with all the stories and stuff coming out. And yes, I agree with you that it is kind of sad that this game is not getting DLC, because like they could be like, okay, here are some missions playing as your main character's dad, and you know, exploring the dad before over the gave him the main character Sam and stuff. And they could have went there with that, but you really won't be able to get that. And it's kind of weird that, you know, to see that EA is canceling the DLC, or rumor allegedly to cancel the DLC. And it's kind of sad. You know, I would have loved to see what they would have offered more for this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like at that same point, I would have liked to seen this team like have another year to work on the main story in the first place, because like, man, like if this game just had a little bit more polish and like the time like to learn Frostbite, and that was another issue. Like,
yes.
like we've talked about this several times, where like DICE developed this engine for Battlefield. Like, why not go to like have the software engineers go help these studios learn how to build a game on this engine? It is so important for people to know how to use the tools that they're using. Like, you know, you're not like, you know, there's a lot of things for Unity and Unreal out there that teach you how to use these things and let you make these complex things in terms of tutorial and stuff.
Right.
But why not have some people from DICE, or, you know, whoever else is working with this engine that is familiar with it, go there and help them learn how to build a game with this engine. It boggles my mind that it just boggles my mind that they had to just learn how to use this engine in basically 18 months and transfer all the assets into the engine and build a game out of it. Like,
because EA thought that BioWare would be able. EA has so much faith in Frostbite because it's their own proprietary engine. They thought that they could give it to any developer, or any team, and they'll be able to learn it just like that. Well, no, because you upgraded Frostbite, I think 2 or 3 times, like whatever the latest one is, and you only gave it to one. You kept it at one developer. You didn't give it to anybody else. So guess what? They don't have time to take a year and a half to make, let's say, even an indie game to be running off of Frostbite. You know, they can't research and play around with it to see what they can do with this engine.
Yeah, and that's like that's the saddest part, man. It's just like,
and I feel like you have to blame EA for that.
Yeah, I just man, EA just kind of like they were doing like, you know, everybody kind of voted them as like the worst company in the world, and like I know that's super over exaggeration, internet like loud minority speaking and stuff, but like they had that vibe for a reason, and they were crawling back from that with like the EA originals, with Fee that's never come out yet, with you know, Unraveled that came out last year, you know, pushing some of these smaller games and giving Plants vs. Zombies, the shooter, like that shooter franchise, what is it, Garden Warfare, a chance, and like they made a sequel, and those games were fun. Todd Oxtra and I think you and on that Facebook conversation were talking about, you know, how Plants vs. Zombies would fit perfectly on Switch, that shooter franchise, and how awesome it would be to have on the go as a portable. And like they're doing all they seem to be making all the right moves, and then they said, we're not making, you know, Mass Effect Trilogy Remaster because we want to focus on new things, which, you know, that would make them a lot of money, but it's also, I get it. You want to try new things, and that's good from a development perspective. But then you go and you rush out, you know, what's arguably, before you got the Star Wars franchise, it's arguably your biggest franchise in Mass Effect, you know, outside of sports, and you make them use an engine they've never used before, and you make them rush it out and don't give them the time they need to polish. Man, they just...
It's something about EA that gives players that smoke and mirrors vibe. Mm-hmm. So they'll market it, and you'll get a trailer that looks all of this, but in its execution, it fails on so many levels. It doesn't meet the expectations EA think that it's going to have. Mm-hmm. We're so dazzled by the smoke and mirrors that when we actually get past it, when the smoke clears and the mirror breaks, and we start seeing it for its execution, we start getting on EA. Mm-hmm. Be like, this is not what you guys marketed to us. This representation feels fake. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just, man, it's I'm sad because Mass Effect is such an important franchise, I feel like, in terms of making choices in a story-driven environment. And like, you know, it's just sad because I like that franchise a lot, and it's, if we don't get DLC for this, I just feel like we're not going to see another Mass Effect game until they lose the Star Wars license, and that sucks big time, because like someday, like, yeah, Star Wars is all big and flashy now, but like, you know, and I enjoy Star Wars. I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, but I enjoy Star Wars. I enjoy watching the movies and stuff. But you know, eventually Star Wars is going to fall into that superhero thing where like, okay, it's enough right now. Like, we've got so many superhero things going on right now. My head hurts thinking about all the movies I haven't seen yet. Like,
I feel like Star Wars personally has already reached this point. Like, it can't go any further, and it can't evolve.
I think, you know, I don't want to make this a Star Wars show, but like, I think the way they're kind of moving away from like the numbered movies, and like, because Rogue One, I think, is honestly probably the best Star Wars movie I've seen. Like, it wasn't about the Skywalker stuff. It wasn't about, you know, the Force or anything. It was about a group of people trying. It was a war movie, and it was really cool. It was just set in the Star Wars universe. It was cool. You know, I liked Episode 7 a lot. I think, I don't know. It's just, I don't even know what to say. I'm not that you guys need to listen to Secret Friends Unite for all that kind of stuff, because they're the experts over there. But like,
the last thing I'm going to say, because I know we got to move on to the next topic. The last thing I would say about Mass Effect Andromeda and a little bit about Star Wars, but let me do Star Wars first. I think that with EA working on Star Wars, you know, because it's such a recognizable brand name, they're relying on that name. Mm-hmm. And I still feel like because they're relying on that name, that execution is still not going to meet up to standards. We're still going to get smoke and mirrors with that. So that's how I feel about that. As for Mass Effect Andromeda, even if we don't get any DLC, hopefully this game has hopefully people will be able to go to this game, and any decisions and any side quest stuff that they missed, that they're able to go back and do those missions and choose different options and maybe try to get some achievements and stuff. And once you feel like that you got enough feel for that game, whether you're satisfied or not, you'll be able to move on from it. And by the time you actually move on, there'll be a new game that has that Mass Effect feel, but that may be better, maybe the same, or maybe less, depending on how you're going to view it. But for right now, I think it's a good summer game compared to when it released. And I think it's one of those games people could be like, well, you know what? Let me try Mass Effect Andromeda for myself. And I think it's a good game to just play for the summer, because it's something that I don't think it had enough hype because EA wasn't really marketing it, and BioWare really, they couldn't really show it off, partly because of all the problems and stuff that they have. But now that, a lot of it's on sale and stuff, maybe it's time to catch up. Maybe it's time to play it just for the summer and, get it out your backlog, or, just give it a chance and stuff. Maybe sales should pick up for it. And if the sales does pick up and it shows really good numbers for EA, it might help them consider to be like, you know what, maybe we should do maybe 2 DLC packs and give it to the guy and give it to the players.
Yeah. I hope there's more Mass Effect. I hope there's more it's just, yeah. So, anyways, we're going to move on to our next topic, which is, something maybe we're not interested in directly, but, it affects a lot of people. And I have a lot of things to say on the subject in general. Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered was released last week, but it was released on PlayStation only, which is interesting because there's always a lot of DLC exclusivity. Like I know we're going to talk about Destiny in this conversation. Mm-hmm. Call of Duty map packs are 30 days in advance, which is fine. It's how you get people drawn to your platform. But to release a game on one platform for 60 days exclusively, it's 60 days, right? I think so. Yeah. To release it in the summer when people are starving for games to play, after that amazing spring we had, the general audience is looking for something amazing to play. They didn't want to pay $80 for Infinite Warfare, which I actually played most of the campaign, and that game I think is pretty solid from a gameplay perspective and actually changes a lot of what people think of Call of Duty. But I still think Titanfall 2 was better. But in terms of Call of Duty, I think that game was good. Don't want to pay $80 for this. This was a interesting thing that Activision did, and to release it in July on one platform, to then put it out 2 months later, which was July, August, September. So 2 months before the next Call of Duty you're trying to put out. What is happening here?
Okay. And I want to address this from a gamer's point of view. At least a remaster without the map packs, and it's a year, it's maybe 6-7 months down the line that people have already paid the $80 to play this remaster on both consoles. So you releasing it as a standalone doesn't really do anything for any gamer who owns PS4 or Xbox. Now, seeing it as an exclusive deal with PlayStation, I think I think that's a good thing for Xbox players that we're getting it, that we're not even getting it now. Because there's other games that we could get. Because guess what's going to happen? They're going to bring it up 2 more months, but people are already going to be on Destiny 2.
Yeah.
People who care about any Destiny DLC or exclusive, if you want to make that jump to PS4 or you feel like that's where you'll be playing it at, that's completely fine. But if there's a lot of content in Destiny 2, Modern Warfare wouldn't even matter. And
right.
and to remind all the Xbox players, if you have a Nintendo Switch, guess what? There's going to be indie games. There's going to be first party games that's coming every month onto that system.
Yep.
So there's going to be some great titles and stuff. Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
For a remaster.
Yeah. I mean, like, this is okay. First of all.
Oh, can I say, hold on. Can I say something? Okay. Yeah. And I want you guys to think about this. Activision messed up with just putting this on PS4. I bet you right now, from E3 with Nintendo showing Samus Return, if they would have dropped it on the same day as the remaster of Call of Duty came out, which one do you think people will get more? Call of Duty or Samus Returns for 3DS? Both at the same price, mind you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, here's the thing. I think, man, I don't even know right now. It's like, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, it did with the story that they had about you still got to have the disc to do the remaster. It was kind of weird that the way that it was stated. I was reading it on the Destructoid. I had thought that, like, if you bought the digital version of the standalone game, you had to have Call of Duty Infinity, but it seems like you had to have the legacy version. On how it was, me and Moose was talking about it. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. So it seems like if you bought the game, if you bought the legacy version, which comes with Modern Warfare, and if you buy, I guess, the standalone, it felt like you had to have the Infinity Warfare disc in order to play the standalone. So you got Infinity Warfare, or Infinite Warfare, but you got 2 versions of the same game. Or 2 copies of the same game for the remaster. It was weird on how that was stated.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I'm a big Destiny player, right? I played the crap out of that game. And the news just came out, and this kind of ties into what we're talking about and exclusivity in general. Like, it just came out that the weapons and the missions and the strikes that were all exclusive to PlayStation, from the Taken King until now, are coming to Xbox in October. Yes. 5 weeks after Destiny 2 has been out, the exclusive content is coming to Xbox.
In Fireteam chat, I still gotta watch their episode. They one of the hosts addressed that on achievement on Unlocked or IGN, and that's weird. I'm like, you really gonna give them all this content and you're gonna probably charge them a big penny when your sequel is already out? Like, what kind of exclusive deal did you make?
Yeah, right. I mean, like, I get it. PlayStation wants to attract customers, right? That's the business we're in. Like, exclusivity sucks, but it's a part of business. But there is a window where it's like, okay, I get it. With Xbox and the Division, it was 30 days, right? With Call of Duty map packs, it's 30 days. But with Destiny, it was 2 years First of all, year 1 to year 2, it was 1 year to get weapons, which included one of the best weapons in the game at that point on PlayStation. Xbox users never got to use. And then you wait 2 years to release this content after the sequel is out. Like, I think 60 days is pushing it on exclusive content. And to release a game 60 days early on one platform, like especially a remastered version and not release it on the platform that is known to have the bigger player base, like, that's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And like, it's not consumer friendly. It's not, it's not any of this stuff that, I don't know. I don't know how it benefits anyone except for, there's the argument that, if PlayStation wouldn't have funded these exclusives for Destiny, they wouldn't have been made in the first place. Which, come on, it's Bungie and it's Activision. That's a bunch of crap. Some of these maps wouldn't get made for Call of Duty if PlayStation wasn't funding the advertisement. Come on, it's Call of Duty, it's Activision. It's the biggest selling shooter in the world. Like, come on. Right. That argument is a bunch of crap. So that's my perspective. And I think like I'm just gonna I want to play Destiny on Xbox. I want to play Destiny 2 on Xbox. And we're going to. Me and Joey and some of my friends are moving to Xbox because a lot of our friends got Xbox Ones and they want to play Destiny 2. And we're like, well, some of our old raid team on PlayStation isn't getting together anymore. So we want to move over there and play with friends. Like, that's the whole point of that shared world experience, is you're playing, you're going on strikes with your friends, that kind of stuff. But they just came out with the whole list of exclusive stuff that PlayStation is getting. And it's like, the list is like 20 things long. Exclusive armor for each class, exclusive weapons, exclusive strike. Like none, the armor and stuff doesn't really bother me because a lot of the time, I think except for 2 times in Destiny, the weapons were part of the game's the multiplayer meta. Like, Hawk Moon had that luck in the chamber and 1 bullet in the chamber did 1 extra or did double damage. So like, if you got 2 bullets that did double damage, you're going to kill someone, right? It doesn't matter if you're hitting them in the body or the head. Right. And like, that's important to a first person shooter. And Xbox didn't get to experience that. And then they changed the weapon so much by the time it came to Xbox that like, it wasn't really worth using anymore. I mean, it's still a good weapon. Like, I like that weapon still for PvE, but in terms of multiplayer, like, that game there, that weapon isn't what it used to be. And like, when it's that big, when it comes to gameplay and affecting how you play the game, that's kind of an issue, especially when like a community as strong as Destiny's, like, because, Bungie's always been known for their strong communities. And when you are talking to your Xbox buddies and you play on PlayStation and you're talking about the meta of multiplayer being so drastically different based on Xbox not having this one weapon, that sucks. Yes. That sucks.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it defeats the purpose of even release it.
Yeah.
You already got a game with all the regular DLC, story missions and stuff. You already got that at $60 with the last one coming on disc if you want that. Okay. Now you gotta buy 2-year-old content that's been nerfed and adjusted. Like, why?
Mm-hmm.
With your newest game coming out after. Mm-hmm. Now, you see how Square Enix did it with Microsoft with Rise of the Tomb Raider. They released it later on down the line, even with the DLC. They bundled it up and put it on PS4 for her anniversary. That's really good. $60 for all that content. Very good deal. But they didn't wait it was almost a year that it came out. But guess what? They dropped everything all together when that game came out. They didn't hold it for almost 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I don't know. This exclusivity thing is kind of getting out of hand, and like I understand, the draw of like 30 days. I think is a good window for exclusivity stuff. Like it's part of the business. Everybody's got to get over that. It's fine. It's part of the business. 30 days is the window. I think somebody described it as like there's a window for being okay, I can deal with it, and then outside that window is you're just being a dick. Like that, I forget what show it was. But like that's how it was described on this show. And like 2 years is way outside of that window.
It's for some old content.
Yeah, for like content that like, look, Destiny's been updated 3 times since this content was the exclusive. Like the way this exclusivity works is like it was 2 years. There were 2 major updates, another expansion, a raid, and an updated Prison of Elders added to all of this. Not to mention the 5 or 6 strikes, the other new weapons they dropped, like all that before Xbox owners got this 2-year-old content, and that's man, does that bug me. And like to wrap it back around to Call of Duty, like. Yeah, I get map packs. Map packs are different, and they don't affect gameplay. But when one of the most popular games on Xbox 360 ever is being remastered and released on PlayStation 60 days beforehand, like to the point where so many people are probably so excited for, like the Call of Duty fans are probably excited to get World War II that they're not even paying attention to Modern Warfare anymore. Or it could go the other way where like people love Modern Warfare so much that by the time World War II comes out, people are going to be like, well, this is the Call of Duty we all loved 10 years ago. We're just going to buy that for $40 instead of your like season pass and new game for $80 or $100.
Right, and there's probably people who's just like, why do I even need this game? I got Overwatch.
Yeah, I mean, and that's another thing too, is like the way people want to consume first-person shooters is changing so drastically from Call of Duty and Halo, and it's moving more towards, the Overwatch style. Lawbreakers looks like it's going to be good on PlayStation and PC. Mm-hmm. Like, I actually hope Lawbreakers makes its way to Xbox at some point. And another thing we're not putting in this equation is like Call of Duty could be in trouble because of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds coming to Xbox.
Right.
Like in that game, like I've been watching more and more videos and streams of that game. That game looks like so much fun just to like group up and just go. Like that game looks like so much fun. And I guarantee you, if not this year, 2 years from now or 3 years from now, every first person shooter is going to have that battle royale style thing in it just to compete with PlayerUnknown's.
This is the thing about it. Even if PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds came to PlayStation 4, it wouldn't even matter because A, it's not allowing you to do crossplay. B, it's already going to probably be updated, and people who are playing on PC playing against Xbox One players, it. Mm-hmm. Why even jump on PlayStation 4 version?
Yeah. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see like how all this exclusivity plays out, and like in a year, is it even gonna matter because so many people are playing other games? Like,
right.
I mean, like there's rumors that Overwatch is gonna get a sequel next year. Like that's a small rumor, but it is a rumor floating around out there. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is big. Like people want to experience these games differently and experience multiplayer differently. And PvE is becoming a very big thing in terms of like we're probably going to see Borderlands 3 some point next year. We're probably going to see, Destiny's coming out this year, and that community loves that game, and I love that game, even though I hate that game. Like come on, it's a love-hate relationship with me and Destiny. Don't hate me. People want to experience their first-person shooters in different ways. And, I think we've already seen the decline of Call of Duty. I think, Activision either A, needs to think about that franchise and really take a new perspective on how they can approach the multiplayer and the campaigns, to be quite honest with you, and which I think they did a little bit with Infinite Warfare. And B, maybe it's time for Call of Duty to take a couple years off, and because Destiny's their new big thing, Blizzard and Overwatch is their new big thing. Maybe Call of Duty just needs to take some time off. Like, it had its run, it had a very good run, right? It's Call of Duty. It's an iconic staple of pop culture for the last 12 years. Maybe it's time just to take a breather.
Activision doesn't have anything. Skylanders is not doing it no more for them.
Well, they have Destiny, they have Overwatch, they have Diablo.
Destiny had its problems, but it's still not a big guaranteed seller to keep Activision in the line.
I think it's going to do. I think Destiny 2 is going to draw back every player that played Destiny 1, including ones that quit. But I think Activision, that franchise is so attached to Bungie that Activision is going to make their money off of it, but people tie that game so close to Bungie that it might not affect how people see Activision.
Well, the thing about with Destiny 2 is that people who are going to pick up Destiny 2 want to see how big of an improvement it is. Mm-hmm. So it's in the site of, you have to prove me on why you're still an important IP.
Right. And I think,
because
I think in Destiny 2, it has, the Taken King is obviously the best part of Destiny 1 right now, right? It changed the way the game played. It changed the in-game economy. It set quests up in a better, you knew where you were going next type deal in terms of the stories and how you can track your quests and stuff. And I think a lot of people have a faith in what Destiny 2 is doing based off it having the Taken King team behind it and not Vanilla Destiny or Rise of Iron's team behind it. They're obviously working on it, but the lead is the Taken King. But I think this year Destiny is going to overtake Call of Duty in terms of Activision's first-person shooter throne. And even that's not a guarantee. I think you're right. I think a lot of people are going to play this game thinking, how did you improve all the mistakes you made with Destiny 1? And Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is the make or break title in the franchise, I think.
It's going to be, is your story comprehensible, that it has a focus on, that I can actually focus on your story and comprehend it.
Yeah. And because I think, what we've seen, they've shown a lot of what they're aiming to do with the campaign in Destiny 2. And I think, making the Cabal a scary, fierce enemy to go up against. It's the Cabal, for people who know Destiny and the story behind Destiny, the Cabal are a scary enemy anyway. They are a large Hulk, but a militarized version of the Hulk times a million that can think for themselves and not be just act in rage, right? They're just these huge bruising figures in the Destiny universe. And to have a rogue legion of these Cabal come after you is really scary and impending doom thought. That is an awesome thing. And to explore more of their backstory, because they didn't get their due in Destiny 1, is even more intriguing. And the fact that you're going to be able to upgrade your character and find cool weapons throughout the campaign instead of waiting till the end game is a big improvement, which they've already stated they can, because they said they've been test playing it in their offices, and people have found 2 or 3 exotics by playing through the campaign alone, which is awesome, because I didn't find my first exotic until I did my first raid, and that was 7 or 8 months after Destiny came out, and that's an issue. To get the best weapons in the game 8 months after you start playing is an issue.
Yes.
So, I mean, I don't want to make this a whole Destiny thing either, but that's tying it to Call of Duty is like they need. I think Destiny is in a similar boat as Call of Duty is, where they need to figure out how to convey the message that they're reinventing the game without straying too far from what people like about it.
Right. And so, Activision get your exclusivity crap together.
Yeah, for real. Like I'm really tired of like trying to guess when all this stuff is coming out. And like I'm not a big Call of Duty player, but that exclusivity thing directly affects me as a Destiny player. So yeah, figure it out. So the last thing we're going to talk about, probably not going to be as long as the last two segments, but it's okay. Yes. Actually, you know what? We didn't go over the games with gold stuff yet. So I'm going to bring that up real quick before we talk about the Xbox One X. But for July, the games with gold from Major Nelson's blog have gone up. From July 1st through the 31st, you can get Grow Up, which is the sequel to Grow Home. Wait, is Grow Up the first one? Or is Grow Home the first one?
Grow Home was the first one. Okay,
so Grow Up is the Ubisoft sequel to Grow Home. And Runbow from July 16th to August 15th on Xbox One. And then for the Xbox 360 titles, which are also backwards compatible on Xbox One, in case you've been sleeping under a rock, Xbox One plays 360 games, most of them now. From IO Interactive, Kane and Lynch 2, which was an interesting but not critically acclaimed third-person shooter.
Fired.
Yeah. And then that's from July 1st through the 15th, and then from July 16th through the 31st. Probably my favorite Lego game, Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. So those will both be backwards compatible on Xbox One. So go get them. Go get your free games. They're free. I download every free game, even if I'm not interested, because you never know when you're going to be itching for something a little bit different than what you're playing now. So
yes.
Okay, so our last topic here today. Xbox One X pre-orders are still not up because the product has not cleared the FCC regulations. Now, you know, we've seen that with the new Super Nintendo Classic that's coming from Nintendo. We saw that with the Switch when it was announced, like the FCC didn't clear. There's not really an issue yet in terms of pre-orders and if this console is going to come out on time. But some people have shown concern that they can't pre-order the box. Does that spell delay for the Xbox One X? I personally don't think so.
Yeah, me neither.
But it's interesting because I feel like this box is kind of reinventing what the Xbox brand is and wants to be. You know, Xbox has always been synonymous with the most powerful box on the market. The the original Xbox, you know, really powerful, had that hard drive in it. Xbox 360, a little bit more powerful than the PS3. Always ran the games, third-party games, better 90% of the time. And then Xbox One came out of the gate a little underpowered this generation. And I think this is Phil Spencer's statement of saying, look, Xbox has always stood for power, and we want to bring the most powerful box. We want to give you a 4K, almost PC-like experience to your living room. So here's the Xbox One X, and I'm getting more and more interested in this box personally. I'm not going to upgrade this year. I don't need to. I don't want to, and I don't have the money to. But I do want to upgrade to this box eventually. I think that it is a cool looking box, and I think a lot of people from a anecdotal perspective who love Xbox want to have this box, because a lot of people didn't buy the S if they already had a Xbox One, which you know, you included. You still have the big VCR Xbox, yes. The giant brick box. So yeah, what do you think? What do you gnawing on over there?
I think of it as this. Who cares for the pre-order for Xbox One? Because at all of E3, most people was just like, well, I'm not sold on the OX, and why do I even need one? So if that is the mentality that a lot of people are going with, where's this concern of not being able to pre-order it just yet? They're gonna be like, how I got an Xbox OX and you did it? Or is it to be like, well, just to, let me see what it really is all about, to see if I get this box, it's gonna prove it to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like it's not gonna be in abundance, because Microsoft is good at sending enough consoles, because really not many people are buying them. What we'll see when they actually release the OX, or when the pre-orders would come up, we'll see who is going to be willing to put the $500 down. And I kind of want to see is how many people are very excited to if they're buying the OX, to see if Microsoft word is true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because to get the experience of it, people got to buy a 4K TV. So yes, people who have a 4K TV, those pre-sales really matter. But if you don't own it and you're seeing this stuff still in 1080p, you really are just getting the benefit of that it is a powerful system, running your games a little bit better, or running it better than Slim and the original Xbox. You're not getting that true 4K, I guess 60 frames, whatever exclusive and all that other crap. So I kind of want to see, and to viewers, let us know, how do you feel about it? If you're getting an X, is it because that you want to see test Microsoft Word, or are you really hyped to own the system?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's no reason for me to upgrade right now, right? I don't have a 4K TV. There's not really any games that are really harnessing the power yet. I think the game that's going to make me upgrade to this box, minus an upgrade in a TV eventually, right, would be like something like Anthem. I know EA and Microsoft have that deal where they're going to try to make this game look amazing on an Xbox One X. And when that game comes out, I'm sure there'll be some sort of Anthem bundle, the way that, Ubisoft does with Assassin's Creed, or EA does with Madden or FIFA. Like, if there's a bundle or that game comes out, I'll look into upgrading. And, by the time Anthem comes out, maybe there'll be a price drop, because that game says 2018 on it, but I'm looking more at 2019 for Anthem. So,
right.
Maybe then.
And if
maybe then I'll upgrade. Something like Destiny isn't going to make me upgrade. Like maybe Halo 6, but I doubt it, because I just don't need to.
Right.
But I love the look of the box. Don't get me wrong. I do want this eventually. But for me to pre-order the box is a little...
I think the Slim looks better than this.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, right? Is that the Xbox One X looks similar to the Slim, but it's a little bit different, and it looks a little off.
It looks like a cable TV box from the 80s. Like literally, if I put two buttons on I could change the channel.
I think that's just the color of the box, though, to be honest. Because if you look at pictures of it, next to the Slim, it looks fairly similar. Well, it really does look similar. I think it's just the color and the angle they kind of show it off at.
I think I don't know. I think the Slim just looks better overall than the OX. Because I'm just like, you look like a cable box. You look better than PlayStation 4.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I was about to say, I was like,
or the regular PlayStation.
I was going to say, it looks better than most of the boxes that are sitting under our entertainment center right now.
It don't look as sexy as the Switch and the Wii U. I'm sorry. It just doesn't look, But, if I had to put it Slim, regular Xbox. But the regular Xbox, between that and PlayStation 4, I was like, the regular Xbox One looks way better than a PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
This slant kit cart grilled cheese looking thing, like
that's funny. But yeah, like I'm looking forward to upgrading to an X eventually. I don't know if I need one right now. I mean, I definitely don't need one right now. It's
right.
Mostly it's all about the financial situation, and like if we ever upgrade to a 4K TV, and if I feel the need to upgrade and how my life's going at that point, it's all relative to what's happening. So, but I do like the idea of this box, and if I had a 4K TV, I would be making the extra investment to upgrade.
Think probably more people who do buy it will probably be for Christmas presents for kids, or if adults are going to get it, they're going to just probably show off to see if Microsoft word is true, and just kind of like really show off. So we'll actually see. But yeah, like hopefully more 4K TVs become available, and if people want to get the best out of it and they could do it, hey, more power to you guys.
Yeah, and like it's not like the Xbox One S is going away either. Like that's the quote unquote budget box now. Like it's the way to get into the Xbox ecosystem, and everything's going to work on it. It's not like, and they already said like if you have Xbox One S, it's going to download the 1080p assets and the game's going to run exactly the same, whereas the Xbox One X is going to download the 4K assets. And like that's also a good point to make when you're looking for these boxes, is that all your games are going to run the same because of the asset packages the Xboxes know to download and what not to download.
And everybody who is getting a Xbox OX terabyte that system could hold, get a 7 terabyte or 8 terabyte, because of 100 gigabytes for to get the 4K assets. Really, Microsoft?
Yeah,
that's huge. And that literally is crazy.
People don't realize how big 4K assets are. Like I can tell you right now, Gears of War 4, I downloaded it on my computer to see what the 4K assets would look like, and that the PC version automatically downloads all the 4K stuff, even if you're not running it at 4K. It's over 100 gigs for Gears of War 4, and like you have a box with a 1 terabyte drive in it, that's gonna get real full real fast.
So invest.
Yeah, definitely invest in an external hard drive. I'm surprised they're not supplying a bigger hard drive in that thing, because memory is so cheap. But
I think because of the 2 terabytes and the bigger ones, I think they're so cheap right now, or like very like at a budget price, and people could order a good one off of Amazon. That just makes sense.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Amazon has them pretty cheap. An external, and let's see here. For a 4 gig hard drive will run you about $120, like a decent one. And then if you want to upgrade to 8 gigs, it's like $160 on Amazon. So, I mean, memory is relatively cheap. If you're investing in a box, you're gonna need to get one of these hard drives. But that's besides the point. So, well, Ed, I think that's gonna wrap it up for this episode of Arsenal X. We do want to add a listener question section to this show. This is obviously a test we're coming out of the testing phase and moving it into a more prominent role in production on NGR. Yes, exactly. Thanks, Ed. But we do want to read your listener mail. I'm going to have, by next episode, I'm going to have a email address set up for you to send emails and stuff there, or just look for our posts in our Facebook page or tweet at us. So all that stuff's coming. So Arsenal X went Wednesday's audio version tentatively. So look for it on major podcast services. Eventually, it's coming. Promise, it's coming. Yes. YouTube page, NGR Radio YouTube page. Like, subscribe, and share to that. Check out all of our content on ngrradio.com. Ed, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at @RetroCode. You can also hear my podcast, Optional Opinion, at SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and other podcast apps. I just got done doing my feature on IGN, so check that out at IGN.com on Anime, ENIME. The theme is the rising sun still shining? What I'm talking about is Japan still imported into America, and you can check out that episode of Optional Opinion also on SoundCloud and other podcast apps. Check out my series, The Moment, at skirmishfrogs.com, and check out some of my writings for NGR Radio. I do have an important blog that will be coming soon. I actually had to change the idea of what I was going to write, but because of some events that's happening, I really want to talk about it because this event really is a serious matter. So do check that one out. And check out my Twitch page, The Lyrical One, where I do my Let's Learn series. And check me, and also check us out at Nintendo Power Block here on ngrradio.com and on YouTube.
Yeah. You can find me at Corey in HD on Instagram and Twitch. You can find me at Corey Hudson in HD on Twitter. Join our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/NGR Radio Podcast. I don't know if we're going to make an Xbox group yet. There's Ed and I know there's a lot going on behind the scenes right now. We're trying to get everybody. We've incorporated a lot of new people, like you heard at the top of the show, kind of getting everybody situated and in the groove of things. Check out Moose and his crew over there on Nerds Gone Platinum. Check out us on Nintendo Power Block. Check out NGR Radio, which is how all this got started, on Mondays at 10 a.m. on your favorite podcast service of choice. I want to give a big shout out to Antonio Guillen, who's starting his Nintendo Switch podcast.
Yay!
Episode 0 just went up on his YouTube page, so you will find that shared in the Facebook group and through NGR Radio's social media. I'm glad Antonio is getting back out there. We got to have him on Power Block eventually. I'm so happy for him that he's getting back out there and podcasting again. So check out episode 0. It's all about ARMS. So go over there, check it out, subscribe, all that good stuff. His first episode's gotten really, really good views. When I subscribed to his channel earlier today, his video already had almost 70 views. So congratulations, Antonio. Proud of you. Can't wait to have you on one of our, no pun intended, arsenal of shows. So thank you guys so much for watching and listening. Send us your feedback, and until next week, we love you.
And everybody have a safe 4th of July.